Hi everyone, I am super excited about making this video today because it's going to be a wrap up on everything we've been doing together on IELTS Writing Task 2. I'm going to pick up one of the latest topics and we will break it down, we will understand what needs to be done, and we will write it together step by step as I explain each and every of the sentences and paragraphs along the way. So it's going to be longer than my previous ones, so you need to be patient. At the same time, you will benefit more. This video has got a bonus as well. I'm going to explain two key structures to boost your writing: parallelism and adverbial clauses. And I will also tell you how to combine these two structures to make even more complex sentences. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do it now, and please hit the like button to motivate me to make more videos about writing and international tests. Before we just jump right in, I would like to make sure that you have seen these previous videos about writing IELTS Task 2 to make sure that you can follow along more effectively. Don't miss out on this video about understanding the topic, idea development, and planning your writing. Also, watch this video about writing a successful introduction. Then watch this video about writing your body paragraphs, focusing on general statements, including the topic sentence in the paragraph. Then never miss this one about using cause and effect sentences to be able to elaborate on the topics and expand your ideas. And lastly, watch this video about writing a conclusion. Okay, if you are ready, we can get started and we can start our writing journey. Here is the topic. Some people think that competition at work, at school, and in daily life is a good thing. Others believe that we should try to cooperate more rather than competing against each other. Discuss both these views and give your own opinion. Before we start writing, we need to understand the topic and come up with relevant ideas about it. This essay is about competition versus collaboration in different areas of life, including profession, education, and personal life. Simply put, we are talking about advantages and disadvantages of competition and look at collaboration as a possible or useful alternative. And then we need to say where we are standing in this argument. We can take one side of the argument. For example, we can incline toward competition or collaboration, or we can take the middle ground. We can have a balanced approach. Let's brainstorm. Okay, now that we are at the brainstorming stage, I would recommend watching this video up front, understanding the topic, idea development, and planning your writing. What are some benefits of collaboration at work? We all know that collaboration can improve friendships, and it can positively affect work interactions. It also helps people deal with problems and handle, responsibilities with more success because they can get mutual support from each other. In such an environment, people feel better and less tense. It's more relaxing because they know that whenever they run into trouble, there is someone by their side. They will also have better ideas and strategies to deal with different things. They will come up with better ideas. After all, two heads are better than one. And when they put their heads together, they will have better ideas. We also know that they will have more organizational values and shared visions because they pursue the same goals and they will cultivate this culture. What can go wrong with competition? Although competition is a very good thing, basically, it can cause tension and stress among workers because sometimes personal advantages can take the place of team values and shared goals. They focus on beating each other and winning the game. Sometimes there is conflict of interest in lots of different things. And what about some positive aspects of competition? We know that competition is a huge driving force that can cause advances and progress. And this personal progress can also serve to company goals and objectives as well. So it's good for the employers. Competition is an intrinsic thing. It aligns with human nature. We know that it has helped humans through survival challenges since the dawn of history. Competition helps individuals achieve personal goals and make personal advances in several fields. So, what is the writer's opinion? I would say that competition, while being essential and inevitable in personal growth and organizational achievements, it doesn't contradict with being collaborative. They can go hand in hand and they don't contradict. They should be encouraged and cultivated together. So being competitive doesn't mean that you are not collaborative. And both of them are needed to guarantee and ensure success and prosperity in human life in different aspects. I'm taking the middle ground and I am having a balanced viewpoint in this essay. Let's write it together. Now, at this stage, I'm going to talk about the two advanced structures that I told you earlier: adverbials and parallelism. First of all, adverbials. These are independent clauses that are often introduced by a subordinating conjunction, such as if, when, since, as soon as, although, once, and so on. They talk about time, comparison, conditions, and reasons, and etc. So we use them for different reasons. You already know how to use most of them, but we need to make sure to use them in our IELTS writing as often as possible, because they can just showcase your ability in using a variety of structures. Let's give you some examples. For example, time. When competition is healthy, it often drives innovation. Reason. Since collaboration fosters harmony, it is vital in workplaces. Contrast. Although competition can create stress, it often leads to progress. And what about adverbial phrases? They are shorter than adverbial clauses because they don't have the subject and the verb. They convey the meaning in a shorter way. They can sometimes be prepositional phrases, sometimes infinitive phrases. I will clarify in examples. The purpose. They have the same purpose as adverbial clauses, talking about the condition, talking about the reason, etc. I want to give you some examples to make sure you understand what I'm saying by adverbial phrases. First of all, using a prepositional phrase. In a competitive environment, individuals tend to push harder. In is a preposition. In a competitive environment is a prepositional phrase. Now using an infinitive phrase. To achieve success, one must embrace competition. To achieve success is an infinitive phrase. Using them to talk about contrast, like this. Despite the stress, competition often leads to progress. And what is parallelism? Parallelism is the consistent use of grammatical structure to present your ideas and convey your opinions in your essay more effectively. It gives your writing more balance, clarity, and rhythm. Why is it important? It's important because it makes your writing essay more understandable. The reader will understand your ideas with less challenge. The second thing is that it helps you create connections between your ideas and among your arguments. Lastly, it helps you bring coherence and organization to your whole essay. Also, it helps you give more emphasis to some of your opinions when you want to state them more strongly. Now, to understand this concept better, let's look at this example sentence and see if it is consistent or inconsistent in terms of parallelism. Competition drives innovation, fosters creativity, and is a source of excellence. We can see that the last part of the sentence doesn't match the other parts. It uses to be in an awkward way, and we can improve it like this. Competition drives innovation, fosters creativity, and inspires excellence. Now you can see this verb-object structure is repeated the same way throughout the sentence and is very parallel now. There are different forms of parallelism. One of them is a list. For example, students learn by reading, writing, and discussing. Another form is comparisons. For example, competition is as vital in education as it is in sports. Another popular form is correlative conjunctions. Either or, neither, nor, not only, but also, and these types of sentences. For example, not only does competition motivate, but it also inspires creativity. And now that we have learned how to use adverbial phrases and clauses as well as parallelism, is there a way to combine these two structures and make more complex sentences to get a higher score in your writing? Of course, to get a higher score in your writing, you need to demonstrate your ability in making more complex sentences and a range of more advanced structures. Let's look at how they work together. When individuals compete effectively, they achieve success, foster innovation, and inspire others. You can see we started this sentence with a prepositional phrase and continued it with a list with parallel structures. Another one. To thrive in modern life, one must balance collaboration, competition, and personal growth. We started this complex sentence with an infinitive phrase and then continued the sentence with a list of parallel components. Now let's try combining these two structures with another example. Imagine that we've thought about the topic and we've come up with ideas and we've written them on a piece of paper. Now I'm going to read the raw ideas. Competition should be healthy. Competition drives innovation. Competition encourages hard work. Competition fosters creativity. A bunch of very simple and short, boring sentences could go with each other using parallelism and adverbial clauses to make a beautifully structured, complex sentence. When competition is healthy, this part is the adverbial. Not only does it encourage hard work, but it also drives innovation and fosters creativity. So you can see that we have used not only but also parallelism, which is a very beautiful structure to add ideas to the previously stated ones in a more emphatic way. By the way, has the video been useful so far? If you think so, please share it with those who are not only practicing IELTS, but also have concerns about improving their academic writing. Now let's look at another example and combine these two structures. Again, look at the raw ideas out of brainstorming. Too much competition can cause stress. Competition can harm relationships. Collaboration can be more appropriate. Collaboration brings harmony and enhances collective outcomes. And now let's combine these ideas into a complex sentence. Given excessive rivalry can strain relationships among workers and ultimately harm relationships, some believe that collaboration is more appropriate, as it cultivates harmony and ensures collective outcomes. As you can notice, the blue part is an adverbial clause, and the red part, as it cultivates harmony and ensures collective outcomes, is a parallel structure. You might think, all right, I don't have so many advanced collocations in my mind. Phrases such as excessive rivalry and strained relationships. It's okay, you can just do some research online before you start writing. Still, if you don't know them, you can use your own simple words and focus on advanced structures. Still, the result is much better. Now let's look at the last example. These are the ideas. Being too competitive is a problem. Workers will seek personal benefits. Teamwork might fail. It will lower productivity. So how can I combine them into a complex sentence? Let's look at this example. If individuals become overly competitive and prioritize personal gains over collective achievements, they may struggle to work effectively in groups, resulting in lower productivity. So you can see that the first adverbial clause is a clause of condition. It has a parallel structure in it, like become overly competitive, prioritize personal gains. It maintains the same structure. The last one in bold again, resulting in lower productivity, is an adverbial phrase, which is more specifically called as a participle phrase. Now imagine I want to start a sentence slightly differently, like this. If individuals are overly competitive. So I'm using to be plus adjective. In this case, I need to make some slight changes to the rest of the sentence to keep it parallel. Look at my revision. If individuals are overly competitive and focused on personal gains over collective achievements, they may struggle to work effectively in groups, resulting in lower productivity. Alright, if you have reached this point of the video, it shows that you do care about improving the quality of your academic writing. Good news! Let's get started with essay writing. We start with the first paragraph, the introduction. And we start the introduction with the background statement. The background statement is a kind of general statement that gives a broader view of the topic. It's an interesting sentence that captivates the reader's attention. And it can be something less specific and more general. For example, in this case, competition has always been an intrinsic part of the human nature, helping humans get through life's ups and downs, survival challenges and strives. And we can say that it is not only in humans, it is also in animals and other creatures. Competition has long been a driving force behind human progress, shaping both societies and the natural world. This sentence was one out of thousands of possible background statements for this essay. I'm sure you also have very interesting ideas. Please write your background statements in the comment parts. I will read and feedback. Did you see any adverbial phrase in this sentence? Shaping both societies and the natural world, which is a replacement for which shapes societies and the natural world. Now I'm going to raise the topic. At this point, I am paraphrasing the topic, putting it in my words, preferably using more advanced vocabulary to make it more interesting. Let's do it. Some argue that competing cultivates ambition and success, while others believe cooperation is the key to achieving collective goals. And now let's get the punctuation straight. We need a comma here, and good to go. Now at this point, I need a thesis statement. A thesis statement clearly states the writer's opinion. After that, an opening sentence to let my reader know what they're going to read in the following paragraphs. A clever choice might be like mixing these two sentences into one. This opening sentence includes the thesis as well. So let's do it. This essay will discuss both views before asserting that a balanced approach is the most effective. If you remember from the brainstorming section, we decided to have a balanced viewpoint. In this opening and thesis statement, I said, I'm going to discuss both views before asserting that a balanced viewpoint is the key to success. Okay, we are done with the introduction paragraph. And before moving on to the first body paragraph, I would like to mention that we have an adverbial phrase here before asserting that a balanced approach is the most effective. It's an adverbial phrase of time. Now let's start the sentence with the topic sentence in the first body paragraph. The topic sentence introduces the main focus or the gist of the paragraph. Everything that is going to be stated in the paragraph is going to revolve around this topic sentence. Right now, I'm feeling more comfortable putting it at the beginning of my paragraph. But a paragraph doesn't necessarily begin with the topic sentence. It can appear anywhere, including the middle of the paragraph or even at the end of the paragraph. But now we are starting our paragraph with the topic sentence. I'm going to say that collaboration improves relationships and friendships. And as a result, it will improve productivity and effectiveness at work. Advocates of cooperation argue that it fosters solidarity and camaraderie, thereby increasing productivity and harmony. So here in this sentence, I used argue instead of say. I used fosters instead of saying encourages or increases. I used solidarity instead of mutual understanding. And I used camaraderie instead of friendship to make my sentence look more advanced. Also, in this sentence, did you detect any adverbial phrase? At the end of the sentence, it's increasing productivity and harmony, which is an adverbial participle phrase that talks about the reason of a situation. Also, did you notice parallelism here in this statement? We have noun-noun parallels like solidarity and camaraderie, increasing productivity and harmony. All of them are nouns and they have an equal part of speech. So up to here, we need a general statement to support our topic sentence. Let's deal with workplace because it has been directly mentioned in the topic. One of the implications of collaboration at work instead of competition is that people come up with better ideas when they put their heads together. When every problem arises, they can consult, they can support each other, and they can have better ideas to deal with them. In workplaces, for example, teams that prioritize collective success over rivalry tend to generate innovative solutions through knowledge sharing and mutual support. Here in this statement, I use some advanced vocabulary and useful collocations to be used in further occasions. So let's look at it as the language takeaway. For example, prioritize collective success over rivalry, and rivalry is used instead of competition. We need to avoid repetition and diversify our language. The other one is generate innovative solutions, knowledge sharing, and mutual support. Now I think my explanation about the role of collaboration at work is not fully satisfying. I'm going to put another general statement after that, explaining this idea more. Teamwork pools talents and ideas, leading to innovative solutions that may not arise in competitive settings. Also in this sentence, there is a participle adverbial phrase, leading to innovative solutions that may not arise in competitive settings. Now what happens in education? Using the ideas we have developed and what we know that happens at school, I'm going to write another general statement to describe the importance of collaboration. Similarly, in education, students often learn more effectively in a cooperative environment where they can exchange ideas and help one another rather than feeling pressured to outperform their peers. Similarly is a useful phrase to talk about similar situations. And did you notice any adverbial phrase in this sentence? At the end of the sentence, you can read, rather than feeling pressured to outperform their peers. It's an adverbial phrase of contrast. And what about parallelism? You can see there is a verb parallel structure. Verbs appear in the same form. I'm going to help you recognize them by underlining them. Moving on to the next sentence, I'm going to talk about some disadvantages of competition when it is done too much. If you remember from the ideas at the beginning of the video, it causes stress and anxiety, and sometimes it can lead to immoral behaviors when there is a conflict of interest. Moreover, excessive competition can lead to an anxiety, resentment, and even unethical behavior, undermining both personal and professional relationships. Now let's highlight the advanced structures. Here in this sentence, you can see a parallel structure that noun phrases are repeated the same way. Anxiety, resentment, unethical behavior. Also at the end of the sentence, there is a participle phrase that shows the result of an action, undermining both personal and professional relationships. Moving on to the next paragraph and remembering our ideas, we are going to talk about the benefits of competition. We know that competition is a great motivator. It has caused humans to take big steps. Now let's write a sentence as the topic sentence, and then we can highlight the structures. On the other hand, competition is a powerful motivator that drives individuals to strive for excellence. Now let's add another sentence to explain it a bit further. Throughout history, great scientific discoveries, technological advancements, and artistic achievements have been fueled by rivalry. Remembering our reflection on the topic at the beginning, we know that competition and collaboration do not contradict each other. While people can enjoy working in a supportive environment, value organizational success, and work in a team, they can still want to be ambitious and demonstrate their unique skills and abilities. They can have ambitions. Furthermore, competition and cooperation are not mutually exclusive. Rather, they complement each other. In professional settings, employees collaborate on projects while simultaneously seeking to outperform their peers, leading to both personal growth and organizational success. And what about adverbial phrases and clauses? One of them is throughout history, which is an adverbial phrase of time. The other one is while simultaneously seeking to outperform their peers. which is an adverbial phrase of time and manner. And the last one, leading to both personal growth and organizational success. This one is a participle phrase of result. Now, what do I need? An example can help me support my argument. I need an example that brings together the essence of competition and collaboration. Sport can do this job for me very well. Similarly, in sports, healthy competition pushes athletes to improve, but teamwork remains crucial to achieving victory. Therefore, a blend of both perspectives seems necessary. Okie dokie everyone, we are going to conclude our writing essay and write the final paragraph by bringing together all the main points and the key concepts. It's always good to provide a thesis statement paraphrase, but this time I want to cut it short because I want to keep it within less than 300 words due to the time management issues. So let's look at the key points and the concepts stated in the body paragraphs. So you can see the both paragraphs now. The first one is about the benefits of collaboration at work and in personal life and also in education. So you can see the keywords in bold type, so it's easy to capture them and find synonyms or paraphrases. So the first thing, it fosters solidarity and camaraderie. It means that it encourages mutual feelings and friendship, increasing productivity and harmony. So there will be more work done and the output will increase. It also says that it pools talents and ideas. It means that people can share ideas and other possibilities. Let's look at the second paragraph, which is about the advantages of competition. It's a great motivator. It can trigger the desire to have more personal achievements. And the other very important point stated is that they can coexist with each other. It says that they are not mutually exclusive and they can complement each other. So let's refer to these points in the conclusion and see how we can write one. In conclusion, while cooperation fosters unity and shared success, competition encourages ambition and innovation. It's always good to start your conclusion paragraph using an adverbial phrase such as in conclusion, overall, to sum it up, and so on. First, let's write it, and then I will analyze the adverbial clauses and the parallelism used in this conclusion paragraph. Striking a balance between the two is crucial. By promoting teamwork while embracing a competitive spirit, individuals and societies can maximize their potential and drive continuous progress. All right, now let's look at the adverbial clauses and parallelism in this paragraph. Okay, this statement, while cooperation fosters unity and shared success, is an adverbial clause starting with while, talking about a contrast. Competition encourages ambition and innovation. Ambition and innovation is a parallel structure, a simple one. Striking a balance between the two is crucial. By promoting teamwork while embracing a competitive spirit is an adverbial phrase, starting with by, showing how something is done. But in this adverbial phrase, there is an adverbial clause. While embracing a competitive spirit is basically while they are embracing a competitive spirit, which is a clause. Individuals and societies can maximize their potential. So you can say that this is a subject of this sentence. Maximize their potential is a verb noun, and drive continuous progress, another verb noun structure modified by the same subject of the sentence. Nice parallelism. Now it seems that we are done with the writing. Take another look at the writing. Read the whole essay and say, what band score do you think it gets? How do you know? Let's look at different criteria, one by one. How much do you think this essay has been successful in answering the question? In other words, how much do you think it's been relevant and on topic? Second, how much do you think this essay managed to expand the ideas and elaborate on the arguments to support the thesis statement and the writer's opinion, of course? Next, has it been divided into paragraphs? Do you see any text organization? And do you see the relevance of ideas with linking devices and references? Do you see a range of grammar, including complex sentences, as well as a range of vocabulary and the writer's effort to avoid repetition of the same words? Based on these opinions, please tell me what band score do you think this writing will get, and write it in the comment section. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, please give me a rating. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please don't hesitate to do so. Also, please make sure to provide this video to the ones that you think will benefit from it. See you in the next video and wish you a great day.